welcome to all of you Shiksha 360, and today basically we will discuss chapter number 13 part 2. So basically in that first of all we will discuss regarding the systematic sampling. Clear? First of all we will discuss regarding the systematic sampling. Clear? And one request I will for all of you, please remember. Clear? Please remember, first of all, please understand these samplings. Clear? Because directly you will get 1 mark question from that. Clear? Directly you will get 1 mark question from that. So basically from the word it is that basically with the some specific system. Clear? With some specific system or with the specific order. Clear? So in the systematic sampling, clear, basically elements are selected. Clear? In a systematic sampling, basically elements are selected basically from the population at a uniform level. Clear? Basically from the population at a uniform level, that is basically measured in time, order, or space. Clear? That is basically measured in time, order, or space. Clear? Like basically they are taking the example of a basically for basically any companies basically visiting campus recruitment. Clear? Campus recruitment here. So basically what they want to say that here, let's discuss. So basically if we wanted to interview, clear, if we wanted to interview every 20th student on a college campus, clear, so basically we would choose a random starting point in the first 20 names in the student directory and then pick every 20th name after thereafter. Clear? Basically we can say that there are 1000 students in a college. Clear? So basically how they will do. Clear? So basically under the systematic sampling, basically they will see that basically our first student is 15th number. Clear? Our first student is 15th number, and the next is basically 20 students after that, that is 35th number. Clear? So in this way basically they are selecting the students. Clear? Basically in this way they are selecting the student, that is basically comes under the systematic sampling. Clear? That is basically comes under the systematic sampling. So it's basically systematic sampling. Clear? Systematic sampling basically differs from the simple random sampling. In the simple random sampling, basically what is that? Basically every element has an equal chance. Clear? In the simple random sampling, basically as basically we have discussed, every sample has an equal chance to select. Clear? Basically every sample has an equal chance to select. Clear? So basically systematic sampling basically differs from the simple random sampling is that each element basically has an equal chance of being selected, but each sample does not have an equal chance of being selected. Clear? But each sample does not have an equal chance of being selected. Clear? So basically this would have been the case if in our earlier example. Clear? Basically we have assigned the numbers between clear, basically 00 to 99, clear, to our employees, and then began to choose our sample of 10. Clear? By picking after every 10th number. Clear? Beginning from 1. Clear? Basically we have to select that basically beginning from 1. Clear? So next basically we have picked up every 10th number. Clear? So 10 add basically next is 11th, next is 21, next is 31. Clear? And so forth on. Clear? So like basically here they say, they can say that basically if we have a sample of like this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clear? If we have a sample of this one like 2, 3, 4, 5. Clear? So basically there is not any chance, clear, of this sample being selected. Clear? This sample is not being selected. Clear? Because why? Because we have selected the first element. Clear? First, and after that basically only next after 10 student basically we have selected the 11th student, and after 10 student basically have selected the 21st student. Clear? So in this way they can say that basically if this is the sample, clear, from this sample basically it is not possible to select basically at least 2 students. Clear? At least two students in a go way. Clear? In a straight go way basically in the systematic sampling. Clear? Because they have preferred a specific criteria. Clear? Because they have preferred a specific criteria in that. Clear? They have preferred a specific criteria basically under that. Clear? Like basically we can say that they will use that. Clear? Here basically we can say that every 10th element, or we can say that basically they will also use the criteria like basically multiple of 5. Clear? Multiple of 5 or multiple of 9 basically we have to select. Clear? Basically multiple of 9 or multiple of 5 basically we have to select that. Clear? So all these things basically comes under the systematic sampling. Clear? All these things basically comes under the systematic sampling. So in simple systematic sampling, clear, basically in a systematic sampling basically there is a probability of introducing an error into the sampling process. Clear? So basically under that basically there is also the probability of introducing an error basically into the sampling process. Clear? So the system here, the system chosen basically may cause a problem. Clear? If we want to check the chances of people basically eating out on different days of the week. Clear? Like basically we can say that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is a hotel. Clear. So basically, if we want to check the chances of people eating out on Friday, different days of the week, and choose Friday, clear, and choose Friday. So basically, here basically we will see that, clear. Basically, if we start from the Friday, and after every seventh day, clear. So basically, we can say that basically on Friday, clear. Basically, this is the starting of the weekend, clear. This is the starting of the weekend. So basically, we can say that basically there are more persons, clear. Basically, there are more persons basically who are visiting the hotel, clear, on the Friday, clear. So basically, there is higher likelihood of Friday as it is the beginning of the weekend, clear, as it is the beginning of the weekend, and basically we get a higher result, clear. Basically, we get a higher result basically of what basically we will get a higher result basically of those persons basically who are basically visiting outside basically for eating, clear, who are visiting basically outside for eating, clear. So basically in the same scenario, if basically we will start from the Monday, so basically we will see that basically less people will go out on that day, clear. Less people will go out on that day basically with respect to the Friday, clear, because Monday is the starting of the weekend, clear, because Monday is the starting of the weekend. So basically less people will visit outside basically for the eating purpose, clear. So basically we can say that this is the thing basically which produces an error, clear. So basically how it produces an error here, basically if we'll choose a Friday, clear. So basically we will see that, clear, basically there are more persons visiting the hotel. So basically we will make food according to that, clear. Basically we will make more food, clear, as basically on Friday basically if more persons, on Saturday and Sunday there is also more persons, clear, because many of have a holiday, clear. So if we go with the same trend on Monday, clear, if we go with the same trend on Monday, so basically it creates problem, clear. It creates problem, clear. Why it creates problem? Because there are less people basically will visit the hotel on the Monday, clear, will visit the hotel on the Monday, clear. So basically we can say that in the systematic sampling basically there is a probability of introducing an error basically into the sampling process, clear. But on the other hand, systematic sampling has some advantages also, clear. Systematic sampling has some advantages also, clear, because here in that basically we have selected a proper way, clear. Basically we have selected a proper way basically how we have to move forward, clear. Basically how we have to move forward, clear. So basically we have selected a proper way or proper method, clear. So systematic sampling basically has some advantages, even though systematic sampling basically may be inappropriate, clear. Even though systematic sampling basically may be inappropriate when the elements basically lie in a sequential pattern, clear. Basically when the elements lie in a sequential pattern, so this method, clear, so this method may require, clear, so this method may require less time and sometimes results in lower cost than the simple random sampling method, clear. So basically what is the benefit of this method? Basically we can say that this method basically requires less time, clear. Basically this method requires basically less time and sometimes result in lower cost, clear, and sometimes basically results in lower cost than the simple random sampling method, clear, than the simple random sampling method, clear. So this is the whole discussion of the systematic sampling, clear. Hope it is clear to all of you. Just you have to understand there is a specific pattern basically we have to follow for selection, clear. Basically we have to follow for selection under the systematic sampling. Now next one is the stratified sampling, clear. Now next one is the stratified sampling. So please listen carefully. One there basically which we have to discuss here, that is stratified sampling, and next one is the cluster sampling, clear. Next one is the cluster sampling, clear. So I request to all of you, please understand both these samplings properly, clear, because very important for the examination point of view, clear. Stratified sampling and the cluster sampling, clear. Stratified sampling and the cluster sampling, clear. So to use the stratified sampling, basically what we have to do, to use the stratified sampling, basically we divide the population into relatively homogeneous groups, clear. Basically we have to divide the population basically into relatively homogeneous groups basically called as strata, clear, called as strata. Like basically we can say that basically we have total population under that, boy, girl, boy, girl, girl, boy, girl, boy. So basically what we have to do under the stratified sampling, basically what we have to do, basically we have to separate into two parts, clear, into relatively homogeneous groups, clear. Homogeneous group, that is basically this is group 1, this is group 2, clear. So all the members under the group 1 is same and all the members under the group 2 is same, clear. So basically here basically we are discussing on the male, female or boy, girl. So that is basically we are differentiating basically on the basis of the sex, clear. So here basically B1, B2, B3, clear, all are boys here. Here G1, G2, G3, clear, all are girls here, clear. So basically they all are homogeneous with each other, clear. They all are homogeneous with each other, clear. So basically this is known to be as the strata, clear. So this is known to be as the strata, clear. So this is generally basically known to be as the strata, clear. So hope it is clear to all of you. Basically stratified sampling, clear. Basically what is a stratified sampling, clear. So basically what is that? Basically when we have to club all the same category persons into a group, clear, into a group. So basically then what basically we have to use one of the two approaches, clear. First of all, basically we have to separate into the two homogeneous groups, clear, or more, clear, according to the situation, clear. So then next basically we have to use one of the two approaches, clear. Next basically we have to use one of the two approaches. Either basically we will select at random, clear. Either basically we select at random from each stratum basically a specified number of elements, clear. Either basically we select at random basically from each stratum a specified number of elements, clear, a stratified number of elements corresponding to the proportion of the stratum, clear, corresponding to the proportion of the stratum in the population as a whole. Or basically we will draw an equal number of elements basically from each stratum, clear, and give a weightage to the results basically according to the stratum proportion of the total population, clear, of the total population, clear. So basically what they have to say that, clear. So basically under the stratified sampling basically we have to use two approaches. So first one is basically we can say that either basically we select at random from each stratum a specified number of elements corresponding to the proportion of that stratum basically in the population as a whole, clear. So basically we can say that basically if there are 5 girls, 4, 5, 6. So basically there are 3 boys, 6 girls, girls. So this is to basically in the ratio of 1:2, clear. So basically they are in the ratio of 1:2, clear. So basically if we are doing the specific voting, clear, basically for any particular project, clear. So basically what we will consider here, basically if we take the corresponding proportion, clear, corresponding proportion. So basically we will consider that the vote of the boy is considered to be 1 and the vote of the girl is considered to be 2, clear, and the vote of the girl is considered to be 2, clear, and the vote of the girl here is considered to be 2, clear. So basically this is the thing basically they want to say here. Wait a minute. Okay, this is the thing basically they want to say here, clear. Here basically we have to use the proportion, clear. Basically we have to use the proportion here. This is the first way. And second way basically, or we draw an equal number of elements basically from each setup. Like basically we can say that 2 members from that and 2 members from that. Or we draw an equal number of elements basically from each stratum and give a weightage to the result according to the stratum proportion of total population, clear. And basically now basically we will give weightage, clear. Now basically we will give weightage according to the stratum proportion to the total population, clear, according to the stratum population basically proportion to the total population, clear. So basically we can use either of the way, clear. Basically we can use either of the way under the stratified sampling, clear. Either of the way basically under the stratified sampling, clear. Either basically we have to give the ratio, or basically we have to use the proportion, or basically we have to draw an equal number of elements, clear, from each stratum and basically give weightage to the results according to the stratum's proportion of total population, clear, according to the stratum's proportion of total population. So with either approach, stratified sampling basically guarantees that every element in the population has a chance of being selected, clear, like in the previous, clear. In this systematic sampling, clear. So basically there is not any guarantee that every sample is to be selected, but under the stratified sampling, clear. So basically here that every element in the population, clear, under that basically every element in the population basically has a chance of being selected, clear, has a chance of being selected, clear. So now let's discuss basically in a simple way here basically with the help of one diagram, clear. So basically what they have given that, clear, basically this is the population here, clear. This is the population here. Under that basically some persons are wearing, we can say that blue shirts or blue dress, and some are basically wearing red. So basically what are the strata, clear. So basically what are the strata here, basically we have confirmed, basically we have put them into basically 2 different groups. We can say that this one is G1 and G2, clear. So basically all the elements under the G1 are homogeneous, clear, all are same. Similarly, all the elements under the G2 are homogeneous, clear, all are homogeneous. but G1, G2 are different, clear, but elements under the group is to be same, clear, but elements basically under the group is to be same, clear. So basically what we have to do here, basically we have to do random selection, clear, random selection basically from that or from that, and this one is our sample, clear, this one is our sample, clear, because they here there are more persons, so basically we have selected little bit more one more person, here there are less persons, so basically according to that basically we have selected less person, clear, according to that basically we have selected less persons here, clear. So basically this is the process basically which is going to be done here. Hope it is clear to all of you regarding the stratified sampling. So now basically when to use stratified sampling, clear, basically when we have to use the stratified sampling, clear, please remember this example, clear, basically which we have to discuss now here, clear. Directly they will ask this type of example in the examination, clear. So stratified sampling basically is appropriate when the population is already divided into groups, clear, is appropriate, and basically when the population is already divided into groups of different sizes, clear, basically here the groups is of different sizes, and we wish to acknowledge this fact, clear. Example, middle class in a one group, upper class in a one group, clear, or lower middle class in a one group, clear, or basically or according to the age, clear, basically we can say that 10 to 15 years person in one age group, 15 to 20 basically in another age group, clear. So or according to that, or race, sex, or any other stratification, clear, or any other stratification, clear. So a jeans company basically may want to study, clear, basically which age group basically prefers to wear jeans the maximum, clear, basically a jeans company basically may want to study, clear, basically which age group, clear, basically which age group prefers to wear the jeans the maximum, clear. So thus the age group basically may be 13 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, or 40 plus, clear. So basically they will form a group, clear. So basically first of all basically they will form a group, and after that basically they will analyze, clear, basically they will analyze, or basically they will take the review from that, clear, basically which age group is preferring to wear the jeans. So the advantages, clear. So the advantages of the stratified samples are that when they are properly designed, clear, basically when they are properly designed, they get more accurately, or they more accurately reflect the characteristics of the population from which they are chosen than to do other kinds of sample, clear, basically than to do other kinds of sample, clear. So the advantages of the stratified sampling are that when they are properly designed, clear, basically when they are properly designed, they more accurately reflect the characteristics of the population, clear. So they more accurately basically reflect the characteristics of the population from which they are chosen than do other kinds of sample, clear, than do other kinds of sample, clear. Just you have to remember this example, clear. And one more thing, basically under the stratified sampling, groups, internal groups are homogeneous, clear, that the elements in the groups are homogeneous, but groups are not homogeneous, clear. G1 is basically, we can say that under that basically blue dress group, G2 is basically red dress group, clear, according to that, clear, or G1 is a red color dress group, or G2 is blue color dress group, clear. But all the elements under the G1 are to be homogeneous, clear. All the elements are to be under the group are to be homogeneous, clear. So basically we divide the population basically into the relative homogeneous groups, clear. Homogeneous group basically we can say all the elements basically in that group are to be same, clear. All the elements basically in that group are to be same here, clear, under the stratified sampling, clear. Because in the cluster sampling, clear, this is to be different, clear. Under the cluster sampling basically this is to be different, clear, this is to be different, clear. That's why I'm saying again and again, clear. So next basically what we have to do under the cluster sampling, clear, under the cluster sampling basically we divide the population into groups, clear. Under the cluster sampling basically what we have to do, we divide the population into groups or clusters, and then select a random sample, clear, and then select a random sample of these clusters, clear, and then select a random sample of these clusters, clear. So basically we assume that these individual clusters are basically representative of the population as a whole, clear, are the representative of the population as a whole, clear. So what they mean that, so basically stratified random sampling basically all are to be of the same, all are to of the same. But under the cluster sampling, clear, basically we can say that there are red dress or blue dress, clear, both persons are there, clear. So basically we will do the sample in this way, clear. Here but what you will find that the clear groups are to be homogeneous, clear, basically groups are to be homogeneous, but the elements in the group, clear, but the elements in the group are not homogeneous, clear. So here are some people of blue color dress and here also basically some people of red color dress. Clear? So basically people are not homogeneous. Clear? Like under this way. Clear? Like under this one. Clear? So basically it represents a population. Clear? It represents a population. Clear? Because in a specific sample. Clear? Because in a specific sample we have people basically from the blue color dress and from the red color dress. Clear? From both dresses basically we have people under that. Clear? Basically we have people under that. So basically under the cluster sampling, clear, basically under the cluster sampling, basically what we have to do, basically we divide the population, clear, basically we divide the population into groups, and under the basically previous one, this one, stratified sampling, basically we divide the population into relatively homogeneous groups. Clear? So please remember, clear, this is the 1 mark question. Clear? This is the 1 mark question. Clear? As basically we are discussing from the last 20 to 25 minutes, basically for what? Basically for this 1 mark question. Clear? Basically for this 1 mark question, under the stratified sampling, clear, basically we divide the population into relatively homogeneous groups, and under the cluster sampling, clear, basically we divide the population into groups or clusters. Clear? Basically we divide the population basically into groups or clusters. Clear? Basically into groups or clusters. Clear? Just basically this thing basically we have to understand here. Clear? We divide the population basically into groups or clusters, and then select a random sample of these clusters. Clear? And then select a random sample of basically of these clusters. Clear? So basically first of all basically we have to divide it in different clusters, 5 clusters. Clear? And after that basically we have to select either one of the sample. Clear? Like this one or this one. Clear? So in this way basically we have to do. Clear? Basically then select a random sample of these clusters. Clear? So we assume that these individual clusters are representative of the population as a whole. Clear? And here basically we will assume that these individual clusters, clear, that these individual clusters basically are representative of the population as a whole. Clear? So if a market research team, clear, if a market research team basically is attempting to determine by sampling the average number of televisions, clear, if a market research team basically is attempting to determine basically by sampling the average number of television sets basically per household in a large city. Clear? So basically what they will do, first of all, basically they could use a city map. Clear? Take a city map and divide the territory basically into blocks. Clear? Like this one, and divide the territory into the blocks, and then choose a certain number of blocks or clusters basically for the interview. Clear? Not all blocks like this one or this one. Clear? Because in that basically we have children also, adult also, or senior citizens also. Clear? Because basically we will not separate, like basically we can set children in one group or senior citizens in another group. Clear? Basically we have not done in that way here. Clear? Basically we have not done in that way here. Clear? So basically every household in each of these blocks, clear, basically every household basically in each of these blocks basically would be interviewed. A well-designed cluster sampling procedure, clear, a well-designed cluster sampling procedure basically can produce a more precise sample at considerably less cost than that of a sample random sampling. Clear? So a well-designed cluster sampling procedure basically can produce a more precise sample basically at considerably basically less cost than that of a simple random sampling. Clear? Than that of a simple random sampling. Clear? So that is basically known as the cluster sampling. Clear? That is basically known as the cluster sampling. So basically I think all of you have cleared this example. Please ask if you have any doubt, any query regarding that. Clear? Basically if you are able to understand all these terms properly, clear, if you are able to understand all these terms properly, you are able to answer the question in the examination. Clear? You are able to answer the question in the examination. Clear? Otherwise basically it becomes difficult for us because we are not able to differentiate. Clear? So basically under that basically population into homogeneous groups, population into groups or strata, sorry, population into groups, not homogeneous. Clear? Here there is not any word that is homogeneous. Clear? Here there is not any word homogeneous under the cluster sample. So what is the comparison? Clear? So comparison of the stratified and cluster sampling. Clear? Basically what I have discussed here, just basically they are saying here. Clear? So basically with both stratified and cluster sampling, clear, the population is divided into the well-defined groups. This is true one. Clear? So basically we use stratified sampling. Clear? Basically when we use a stratified sampling when each group has a small variation within itself. Clear? Basically we use stratified sampling. Clear? Basically we use a stratified sampling when each group basically has small variation basically within itself. Clear? Basically when the group has small variation. Clear? So in that case basically we will use the stratified sampling. Clear? So that basically we can make the groups basically in which all the elements are to be homogeneous. Like this one all are same, and this one all are same. But there is a wide variation between the groups. Clear, basically, but there is a wide variation between the groups. Clear, because all are here boys and all are here are girls. Clear. So basically, but there is a wide differentiation within the groups. Clear, between the groups. Clear, this group is different and this group is different. Clear. So basically, this is known as stratified sampling. Clear. Basically, we use cluster sampling basically in the opposite case when there is a considerable variation in each group. Clear, within each group. Like this one is the first group, this one is the second group. Clear. So basically, just take the example of the television. Clear. So here basically we have children also, adult also, senior citizen also. Clear. Under that basically we have children also, adult also, senior citizen also. Clear. So basically when there is considerable variation basically within each group, but the groups are essentially similar to each other. Clear, basically, but the groups are essentially similar to each other. Clear, basically, but the groups are essentially similar to each other. That is basically known as a cluster sampling. Clear, basically, but the groups are essentially similar to each other. Clear. So basically we will use cluster sampling in the opposite case when there is a considerable variation basically within each group, but the groups are essentially similar to each other. Clear, basically, but the groups are essentially similar to each other. Clear. So basically this all are discussion regarding the sampling. Now basically we have to use the next one, that is sampling distribution. Clear. Now next basically we have to use the sampling distribution. Clear. So what is the meaning of sampling distribution? Let's understand basically with the help of this example. Clear. Why basically we will use directly same examples basically which is given in the book? Because they will ask just directly straightforward questions from that. Clear. Like basically we will assume that in this section basically we presume you that you have learned. Just basically we will see that basically this. Let us take an example. Clear, to understand this one. Clear. Because they are saying that basically each sample basically you draw from a population would have its own mean or measure or measure of central tendency and standard deviation. Like basically this is the population. From that basically population has, like basically we can say this is the population. Population has also their mean. Population has also their standard deviation. Clear. So basically next step basically what we have to do basically we will draw a sample from that. Clear. Basically we will draw a sample from that, and this sample has also their mean. This sample has also their standard deviation. Clear. Basically from this population. Clear. Basically we will see that basically we will draw three samples: S1, S2, and S3. Clear. So basically here basically we will calculate the mean. And basically we will calculate the mean of first sample, we will calculate the mean of second sample, and basically we will calculate the mean of three samples. Sample number third. Clear. Basically here basically what we will do, basically we will take all the possible samples here. Clear. Basically we will take all the possible samples here and do their mean. Clear. And do their mean. And basically when further basically we will take the mean of all the means of these samples. Clear. Like basically the mean one here M1, mean 2 here M2, and mean 3 here M3. Clear. So basically when we will take the mean of all these three, M1, M2, and M3. Clear. So that mean basically is equal to the mean of the population. Clear. So that mean basically is equal to the mean of the population. Clear. So basically that mean is equal to the mean of the population. So in the nutshell basically what they want to say that they just want to say that. Clear. Basically if we are calculating the mean of overall sample. Clear. If we are calculating the mean of overall population. Clear. So basically that is equal to the same of the mean of all the samples of that population. Clear. Is equal to the mean of all the samples of that population. Clear. So here this just basically they are giving one scenario here. Let's understand basically what they want to say here. Clear. Here just basically they are given basically we have taking a finite population. Clear. Finite population of 5 young boys A, B, C, D, and E, and collect data basically about their heights. Clear. And basically what we have to do and collect data basically about their heights. So basically these are 5 boys A, B, C, D, and E, and their height. Height of boy A is 160 centimeter, B is 162, C is 164, and D is 170, and E is 156. Clear. So basically height is basically between the ranges 156 centimeter to 170 centimeter. Clear. So basically our mean lies between that. Clear. Our means lies between that. Clear. So basically what is the mean of that? Just basically we have to add all these things. Clear. Basically 160 plus 162, 164, 170, and 156. Clear. So basically when all basically we have to add all these things, and basically we have to divide by 5. Clear. Basically we have to divide it by 5. Clear. So basically what we will get the mean here. Basically mean, basically we will get here basically 162.40, clear. Basically mean, basically which we will get here basically 162.40, clear. So this is the mean, clear. Basically this is the mean of our finite population, clear. Now next step, basically we have to take samples from that, clear. Basically we have to take samples from that. So now basically if we will take samples of size 3, clear. Basically if we will take samples of size 3, clear. So basically that is select 3 boys basically in each sample, clear. Select 3 boys basically in each sample. So basically how many samples basically it will get? Basically total 10 samples. Like basically we can say that first sample is basically A, B and C, clear. Basically we will fix A, B. So first one is C, second one is D, third one is E, clear. Next one basically we will fix B, C, D, E, clear. B, C, A is already done here, clear. Next one basically what we will do? A, C fix, A, C, D, A, C, E. Next one A, D, E, clear. B, D, E, C, D, clear. So basically in this way basically we will take total 10 samples, clear. Basically we will take total different 10 samples, clear. So basically what is the data? The height of A is 160 centimeter, the height of B is 162 centimeter, the height of C is 164 centimeter, clear. So basically what we will do next step here, basically we will take the average of that, clear. Basically we will take the average of that. Average is basically 162 centimeter. Similarly basically we will do this way, clear. For all the elements basically we have to take this one, clear. So basically 164 is the height of the C, clear. Just basically we will take the value. D basically 170 is the height of D, and 156 is the height of E, clear. 156 is the height of E, clear. So in the next column basically what they have been mentioning here, clear. This one is the mean of first sample, this one is the mean of second sample, this one is the mean of third sample, clear. This one is the mean of fourth sample, this one is the mean of fifth sample, clear. So basically they are mentioning all the means, clear. So basically what I will tell here, clear. If we take mean of all these means, clear. This one is M1, this one is M2, this one is M3, this one is M4, this one is M5, clear. If we take all the means, if we take mean of all these means, clear. So basically what we will get here, the mean is similar to this one, clear. The mean is similar to this one, clear. So basically from table 13.3, you can see that the sample mean for each sample is different, clear. Sample mean is for each sample is to be different, clear. Here sample mean basically for each sample is to be different here. And basically this collection of different values of the sample mean basically for sample of size 3 basically forms a distribution of different samples, clear. Basically this is a distribution of different samples. So this distribution has a mean, clear. This distribution has a mean. Basically how? Basically if we add all these means, clear. If we add all the sample means, clear, under this one, clear, all these, and divide the sum, basically how? Basically by which number? By 10, clear. Basically because we have taken total 10 means, and divide the sum basically by the number of samples. So basically what we will get here, basically we will get the mean here, that is 162.397, clear. 162.397, which is approximately is equal to 162.40, clear. Basically which is approximately is equal to 162.40, clear. Basically 162.40, clear. So basically what is the result from that, clear. Basically what is the result from that? That is the mean of the population, clear. That is the mean of the population is equal to the mean of the sample means. Basically mean of samples, clear. Mean of samples. Here mean of the population is equal to the basically mean of a sample, clear. So please remember this thing, clear. Basically please remember this thing. Basically this is the result basically which we will get here, clear. Basically this is the result which we will get here, clear. Please tell fast if you have any doubt, any query up to this much point, clear. Hope it is clear to all of you. And this result basically we will use in the upcoming session, clear. Basically this result basically we have to use in the upcoming session, that is the mean of the population is equal to the mean of the samples, clear. Mean of the samples, clear. Like M1, M2, M3, clear. Basically we have 5 means, 5 samples. So basically we have taken 5 mean of each sample. M1 is the mean of first sample, M2 is the mean of second sample, clear. In this way, and basically we have to divide it by 5, clear. Basically we have to divide it by 5. So basically it is the mean of samples, clear. Hope it is clear to all of you, clear. So in this session basically we have to discuss up to this one point, and very important point is that is basically stratified and cluster sampling here, clear. Stratified and cluster sampling here. Definitely you will get basically one question from these things, clear. Basically one question from these things, clear. And thanks to all of you for attending this session.